Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. I'd like to welcome you all back to Sekiro. Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. I'd like to welcome you all back to Sekiro. Alrighty. Right, so just got a little bit of an issue with my software not playing along, but I think we're going to start up anyway. It seems to be going out live through YouTube, which is a bit strange, but righto. So today we are getting back into Sekiro. We're going to be working our way through the through Mibu Village and fighting perhaps my favorite boss in the entire game, the Corrupted Monk. And from there, we may even be able to get up to Genichiro. So settle in, make sure you've got yourself a bit of a snack, and we can get going. So let's just pick up where we left off. Which apparently was Senpu Temple. So, today's journey, we are heading towards Mibu Village, and in order to get there, we need to travel to the Ashina... where are we? The Ashina Reservoir. Oh, it's been a long day. Alright, so we're in the Ashina Reservoir, and in order to get to Mibu Village, we actually have to head back to the prison where we began the game. So, let's do that. See if I can remember how to play after a week. Alright. So in order to get to Mibu Village, you have to drop down into your prison. And then swim through this little bit of water here. And then grapple your way up and across to reach the abandoned dungeon. Now, there is a boss just over the edge here. The Shichimen warrior. At the moment, we're not going to be fighting him. We will be fighting him soon, though. But we'll get to that shortly. Oh. No, instead, we are heading just across this way here, and we're going to follow the path of candles. Collect this bulging coin purse, and reach this idol. So rest up here, and we'll go and have a chat with Jinzimon, who is continuing his pursuit of the shamisen player. So we'll have a chat with him and see what it's got to say.
Shinobi 殿か。音をたどり、ここまで参り申した。ほら、かすかに風に乗り、この先の穴底から調べが聞こえるでござろう。何も聞こえぬ。そうか、わしにだけ聞こえるのか。まあ、務めなどもうよい。あの調べを追わねば。あの調べはわしを呼んでおる。そんな気がするのだ。
Right. So just quickly, I'm just going to adjust the volume just a smidge. And that should be alright. So now I do hope that's coming through. I think it is. My software is playing up a bit today. Alright, so at this point we're heading up this ramp to the archway and then dropping down. But before we do that, there is an old lady here to talk to.
なんだと。
芦名の底に行きたくば身投げをされるがよいじゃろう。あっちじゃ。芦名の底はあっちじゃ。
Just a second. Okay, I think we're still good. Alright. So at this point we just jump into the hole. And all we need to do is follow this path down and around, and we will find our way to a location known as the Poison Pool, and one of arguably the tougher bosses in the game. So we just head past this unliving zombie, drop down this hole, and we should come across another idol. So there's an enemy down here called Snake Eyes Shirahagi, and it can be a pretty difficult boss, and you'll see why shortly. But the key with this boss is staying close and maintaining an aggressive sort of stance. So I think that might still be a bit too loud. Oof. Alright, so the Ashina Depths, and we have Snake Eye Shirahagi just over there, overlooking the pool. So we'll drop down here, we'll get a stealth death blow on the guy that's just standing under here. And then, if we head this way, we'll find our way to the second idol in this location, which is just down here. We'll rest up, and then we'll head across. Now, the key with most of these enemies that we're about to come across, well, I'll just show you. It's probably a little bit easier if I do. So we'll head across this way. These are the fearsome Okami warriors. From Shirahagi, which can be a little dangerous. Across. Drawn aggro from an enemy over the other side. Quickly heal up. Ouch. This time I deflect. Ouch, I'm dead. Oh, it's fine. What? And that's how we deal with Snake Eye Shirahagi. Now, Snake Eyes and the other Okami warriors, mini-bosses, are unique in the way that they have one of the only deflectable grabs in the game. And as you saw before, I only whiffed 2 of them, which was pretty fortunate. Now, normally we head down here to head towards Mibu Village, but before we do that, we want to head up this way, because we want to grab ourselves another one of the prayer beads. So we get to here, vault up this way, and then we wall jump over here. Pick up the gunpowder and the prayer bead. So now we have another 4 prayer beads, which means we can unlock another level of vitality and posture. So we'll head our way back down here, we'll pick up a little bit of monkey booze. the wrong way. Whoops. So that'll come in handy when we talk to one of the characters after we defeat Genichiro and save Kuro. So we'll continue to head back this way. We'll drop down and we'll head towards Mibu Village. So this is a boss arena later in the game for 2 separate mini-bosses. And while we haven't activated either of them yet, this is the location for them. Instead, we just continue our journey upwards. Quite literally in this case. And don't you know it, Jinzamon's here, continuing his pursuit of the shamisen player.
行ってしもうた。すぐそこにおったのに。
So we'll just greet him again.
お主。おお、忍殿か。聞いてくだされ。それがしはついに見申した。女の僧者でござる。遠目にもわかる。美しく、だが儚い様子の。呼んでおるのはわしなのか、尋ねるのじゃった。つい聞き惚れておるうちに、すっと霧の奥へ去ってしもうたわ。
So, Jinzamon is explaining to us the allure of this shamisen player and gave us a few tantalizing hints as to the nature of the shamisen player. They disappeared into the mists, which is a pretty good indication of the type of person they are. So we'll continue our journey across to get to this idol here. So we'll rest up, regen all of our gourd seeds and whatnot. We'll also enhance our physical attributes. The 4th prayer necklace. Only those who have mastered the Ashina blade may set foot inside the castle dojo. Ishin will often stop by unannounced, just to keep the students on their toes. So we've just got a little bit of an increase in our vitality and posture now. So, there's another boss down in the mists there. For the purposes of this playthrough, we'll be coming back to deal with him later. Instead, we're going to head our way across and continue to follow our journey through the tangled thicket before us. So we'll jump over this way. We can see a cock down there ready to attack us. So what we'll do is we'll leap over and get a death blow, and then we'll continue our journey across. That didn't quite go as planned. But we'll continue heading across. Ah, shoot. Have fun. Where are we? That was awkward. Okay, let's continue our journey. Oh, and I just dropped again. Oh, I'm doing this rather well. Well, shoot. Alright. Oh. Okay. Maybe I should stop playing around Just a minute. Oh. For God's sakes. Oh. Yep. Yeah, it's one of those moments. Head this way. This way. Alright, let's try that again. Oh good, we're already on the right side. So we'll have a chat with this monk here. So the monk here has basically given us an idea of the path we have to take in order to defeat the boss that's hiding in the building next door. But there's a boss we have to face just before it as well, so we'll head that direction and you'll probably see me die a few times. Should be exciting. So we're about to enter an area filled with mists and ghostly figures, as you can see before me. There is a quick way of getting up to where we need to go, so we're just going to sprint there now. And that's that easy. So just beyond here we've got a couple of different enemies that we're going to be facing, and a couple of enemies that we didn't quite expect, but we'll work our way through and defeat this next foe. Die to the monkeys holding swords. What we want to do is equip some firecrackers. Heal up and then fight Tokujiro the Glutton. He's similar to Juzo the Drunkard from earlier, except this time he notably uses poison instead. So, where is he hiding? Oh, let's grab. I'm whiffing just about every single effect. You stop. Oh god. Damn it. With that. Go up. Away. Go. Sweet. Get my resurrection back. Could have gone worse. That was pretty smooth otherwise. And we've just picked up some unrefined sake. Again, another one of the sakes that we can collect. A bottle of cloudy unrefined sake. Sake is a drink meant for sharing. This cloudy sake is one of Ishina's favourites. It has a rich, full-bodied flavour. On the other hand, it has a reputation for getting one too drunk too quickly. We've also picked up another credit. That was a little touch and go at times, but we got there, and we still have enough heals to deal with the next sequence. So we'll head down here. Leap across here to the grapple point. And then we'll just grapple our way up. And what we'll find is that we are now in the area just above the residence that we needed to get to. And you may have noticed I collected an item just before. Another upgrade material, the lump of fat wax. These lumps of fatty wax form inside the body in rare circumstances. Considered omens of disease, they are known to grow larger as the illness worsens. A pretty valuable one we'll need several of before the end of the game. So we'll jump our way across and we'll deal with the next boss. Just through the hole in the wall here. We have this figure. This is one of our opponents. This is a Miss Noble, and you can see by his deformed appearance, he has been corrupted. He's actually from an area much later in the game that we'll be visiting soon. This particular Miss Noble doesn't have the same breadth of attacks that the ones in the future area will have, but he does actually have, the ones in the future location have a pretty interesting attack, which I'll have a lot of fun showing off when we get there. But we'll just do ourselves a jumping death blow, and then we'll just knock this guy off, and then we'll get to Mibu. And this Miss Noble has given us a lump of growth. A lump is formed inside the body, and a long-suffered illness will see the growth turn large and blacker still. It's customary to run water over the site and extract the growth, and this is used for occultic prosthetic tools of an advanced nature. And as you can see, we only got 257 experience for that kill. So I'll collect ourselves some Yoshariku's sugar, and we'll continue journeying into the map. Now, as you can see, with the death of the Miss Noble, so too has the mist dissipated throughout this area, and you can see the landscape for what it is. So we'll continue our journey forward over some more treetops. And you might be able to hear it, and I'll be silent in a moment, but you can hear the ominous ambient music as we enter this area. So we're just following the lanterns down to get to this next idol. Our next opponent is going to be a long swordsman, one of those purple-clad fellows with missing an arm, except this one has some unique attacks. So before we do that, we actually need to pick up something from the memorial mob, which is just opposite us. A very, very useful item.
いかがかね。こんなところにも死者があるところ。 また供養衆あり。死ねぬものでもお構いなしじゃ。さあご供養していきなされ。
So this particular memorial mob, the exiled memorial mob, possesses an item that's extremely useful against a whole series of bosses that we'll be facing as the game continues. It is called the Mottled Purple Gourd. It costs 1800 sen, and what it does is it reduces the terror status buildup and increases terror resistance. And as you can see in the description, this gourd's twisted form was formed with use in graveyards, corpse-strewn battlefields, and other forlorn places of death. It follows then that drinking its waters can help prevent the onset of terror. So basically it's a refillable gourd which allows you to reduce and increases against terror, which can instantly kill you provided the bar reaches its maximum. So this is an item that we're going to want to pick up. I'm going to see if we've got enough light coin purses to afford it, as it is going to come in handy later on. Turns out I have one, but I also have a heavy coin purse, which I'm going to use in this regard. So I can pick up this item. It's also probably wise of me to use up the sen that I've got, because I'm likely to die against this longswordsman. So, knowing what this longswordsman can do, I'm going to take the initiative and equip the single antidote powder that I have. That's embarrassing. I'll go rest up and we'll deal with this guy. Right. So here he is over here. He's actually one of the keenest eared longswordsmen in the game. Yep, I thought that was going to happen. And dead. Kind of knew that was going to happen. He's certainly one of the toughest ones that you can fight. Alright, let's see if we can't try something else as well. We'll equip ourselves with a Gaichin Sugar. See if I can't just death blow him. It's unlikely to happen because, like I said, this particular longswordsman has probably the highest AI detection range in the game. Or maybe not. I don't know though, like, killing him that way just seems cheap and a little bit cheesy. I suppose it beats dying again. And yes, I was fortunate enough to get that unseen aid just before. And the reward is a treasure carp scale. Alright, so now we have finally reached Mibu Village, and this is probably the location of my favourite boss in the entire game. We'll get to it very, very soon, but it's called the Corrupted Monk. So, Mibu Village is a village located on the outskirts of Ashina. It's basically being cursed, and the story behind it is pretty tragic. There are a couple of NPCs that we can talk to, both with their own quest lines, but as you can see here, one of the fishermen of Mibu Village is searching for something in the muddy creek bed, and this particular curse is fairly tragic, as they are bound to have unending life, I guess, because they will constantly respawn, no matter how many times you kill them, and that's due to the effects of the Fountainhead, which we'll be getting to at some point. And the Fountainhead is one of those things that have been described throughout the game. The gourd, the healing gourd that we have, finds its core in the Fountainhead. There are several items that refer to the Fountainhead, and it's something that we'll learn about fairly soon. But as you can see, if we start killing these guys, they will continue to find themselves alive once more. They are extremely easy to kill, but they always come back. As you can see, the one that I just killed before has pulled himself out of the ground. You'd think that this is a fairly interesting area to just farm for experience, but they just don't grant you enough experience to really warrant spending a longer time in this area. They certainly give you enough sand, and they do have the ability to drop certain upgrade items like the Fistful of Ash. But as we enter here, we can see the dilapidated area that is Mibu Village, and the clusters of villages that live in the area. And that guy's the most dangerous of all of them. Not saying it's not satisfying though. And it's a pretty nice way of picking up quite a bit of sand. Right, so hey guys. Anyway, since I don't need to keep killing these guys, I'm just going to head up here and drop down into this roof. And here we have one of the two NPCs that can help explain what's exactly going on here. Maybe.
Oi. 落ち着け。あんたまともな人かい？ああ。よかったよ。あんたはまともなお人だよ。あんた何か聞きたいことがあるのかい？ ただすまねえが、ほらこのままカゴかぶったままでいさせてくれ。
So now we can find out what's exactly happened here.
この村はどうなっている？
オラにもよくわからねえ。気づいたらみんなおかしくなっちまってた。オラもずっと頭がぼーっとしていたんだけども、ゲーゲー吐いたら目が覚めたんだ。喉が渇いてたくさんお酒を飲んだからな。きっとそれで吐いちまったんだ。神主様が時々お酒を振る舞ってくださるんだ。ただな、お酒を飲むと喉が渇いちまう。酒樽はすぐ空になる。仕方なく皆池や川の水をすするんだ。けどな、飲めば飲むほど喉が渇く。喉が渇いて乾いてたまらなくなるだ。
You're not wrong, that lone shadow can be quite difficult, and I was particularly lucky that he didn't use his poison combo on me, because that basically poisons you almost instantly with 3 hits. It doesn't matter if you perfectly deflect them or not, you're always going to receive more of the poison proc. And along with, you know, the poison eating away at your health and constantly deflecting an extremely aggressive lone shadow, it's it definitely makes the fight go from bad to worse. And as you can see here, the basket wearer Shosuke has just explained that the village went insane, and the only reason he survived was by drinking sake. Basically, he hints at that all the water in the village has been corrupted by something, and by drinking the water is what's led his fellow villagers to go insane.
この村の者たちどうなっている？
わからねえ。ただみんな火を怖がる。頭がぼーっとしてるときはオラもそうだった。あのなかなか消えない火、今思い出してもゾッとする。
消えない火。
漁師の犬彦のやつが松ヤニを燃やして家に立てこもってたんだ。あいつの松ヤニは長く燃えるからな。まったくいまいましい。犬彦は村の鼻つまみ者だ。獣の肉など食いやがる。だから神主様もあいつにはお酒をあげないのさ。
その犬彦の家はどこだ？
池の向こう側さ。どん詰まりに犬彦の家がある。
So we've just got an indication as to where some of the another upgrade material can be found. It's one of the upgrade materials that's extremely useful for endgame prosthetics. And now we'll get some information on the village priest who was giving out this water.
神主とは？
神主様はこの村で一番偉いお人だ。川沿いに遡った先、水源に近いお社にいらっしゃるぞ。神主様はおっしゃってた。皆で都人になろうぞってな。お酒をたくさん飲めば都人になれるってさ。ん？都人ってなんだろうな。
Right, so we've got a bit of an indication here that the village priest has wanted to become a member of the palace. We don't know exactly what the palace is just yet, but it's a hint as to what's to come and a location that we'll be traveling to.
そうかい。行っちまうのかい。オラはここでカゴにこもってるよ。辛抱せねば。
So we're definitely benefiting from Shosuke's information. So we'll head out of here And what we'll do now is we will head toward the village. We'll skip our way across here to this very, very withered cherry blossom. Oh, ouch, ouch. I should have known better about that one. But we've got a very withered cherry blossom here, something corrupted again by whatever has poisoned the water. And there are two items there, one of which is very important to us, it's a gourd seed, and the other is not. And then if we look on the other side of this rooftop here, we can actually see the location of the Hunter Inosuke's house with the upgrade material. So we'll head over there at some point shortly, or rather on our way back through this area. But first we're just going to sprint through here, collect the gourd seed, and make our way to... Let's just equip this monocular. The idol, which is just over there. So we're going to jump down and we're going to run through. Each one of these little patches here is also occupied by a hidden villager, which is just below the ground, and they reach up and grapple you, which is meant to help them basically kill you quicker. So we'll sprint through here, grab the gourd seed, grab the balloon of soul, across here. Excuse me, sir. This way, across this bridge to the idol. Oh boy. Oh, good stuff. Only I'm quick enough to get away from him. Ah! Ow. Please stop. Could I please rest here? That was pretty funny. Didn't realize that was so quick. Anyway, so up here we've got Jinzamon, and he's going to tell us something pretty important for his quest line.
Shinobi dono ka. あの調べに気を取られ、深くを取り申した。ああ、しかと聞こえる。きっとこの先にあの女僧者が。やはりわしを待っておったのじゃな。
So we've finally got to meeting the shamisen player that Jinzamon has been obsessively following. Now, this is one of those boss fights where you can definitely cheese it. You can get free death blows on them and so forth. And this is also one of the first apparition-based enemies. Unless you've already fought one of the Shichimen warriors in the abandoned dungeon, or one of the many headless that can be found throughout the game, this is one of the first ones that you fight. And normally against enemies like this you would use Divine Confetti, the item that's been dropping around the location. Now I'm going to show you that this boss can be pretty easily beaten without using any confetti. It just takes a little bit of time and a lot of practice with the deflects. So we'll go and have a chat and then we'll do this fight.
なぜ泣く？
悲しいのです。
何が悲し
今
い？
頃は作座様、どこにどうしてございましょう。それがわからぬのが悲しいのです。会えずとも せめて知りたい。なれど頼りを出しても帰ってこぬ。誰も居場所を教えてくれぬ。ねえ、御人、作座様はいずこですか？
So now we've got an opportunity to be honest with the shamisen player, and we can tell her that we have no idea where Lord Sakura is. And let's just say that the response we get is not very pleasant.
知らぬ。
あなたも嘘つき。どうして皆隠すのですか？
Which gets us into a fight. Ow. And she hits like a truck. Ouch. Right. Let's try that again. Let's get away for a second. Heal up. Nope, nope, nope. Excuse me. Ow. Please stop. Whoops. That was a strong start. Ouch. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's that. There's the first one down. Get away for a second, heal up.
来てくれぬならせめて代わりに。
Excuse me. Excuse me. There we go. Problem solved. Now that fight could have been a bit tougher, but I've done it quite a bit, and as you can see, it's perfectly easy to do as long as you learn the deflects and rely on killing her with posture damage as opposed to just straight out health damage, which again is something you can do with just about every boss in the game. So as you can see with her last words, she said that Lord Sakura brought another man in his stead, and the person she's referring to is Jinzemon, who we'll go and have a chat with. As you can see, we also picked up a new Parry, which means we are halfway to collecting another prayer necklace. And we've got another another skill, the Breath of Life Shadow, a latent skill that recovers vitality upon performing a successful death blow. Experiencing battles with powerful opponents further deepens this moment of respite. So the Breath of Life Shadow complements the other skills that grant you extra vitality upon successful death blows, which comes in pretty handy. It's effectively at this point double the amount of vitality that we're getting back from every successful death blow. So what we'll do now is we will head back to Jinzemon to see the conclusion to this quest now that the Shamisen player has been discovered and, well, let's face it, brutally murdered by Sekiro.
そこにおるのは忍び殿か。
ああ、
忍び殿には礼を申さねば。
礼だと。
あの女僧者を連れてきてくださったであろう。ついさっきわしを撫でながら調べを聞かせてくれた。今までとは違う子守歌のような安らかで温かい調べじゃ。奏でながらこう言うてくれた。よく来てくれましたねと。やはりわしを呼んでおったのじゃな。忍び殿、これをもらってくだされ。
So, with this and Jinzemon's questline, he grants you Jinza's Jizo statue, a Buddha effigy bound in a light pink cloth. Raise in prayer between one's palms to restore a node of resurrective power. To enswath a Jizo statue is to express feelings of parental love. Lord Sakuza, please take this cloth and use it to bundle this little one so that he may live on in peace. And with that, Jinzemon breathes his last. And following the, let's face it, the amazing tradition of FromSoft games, NPCs, generally speaking, do not get happy endings. But I guess it speaks to the realism of every part of every game that they've made. Sometimes they just aren't people just don't get happy endings. But on that rather tragic note, we will return to the idol before heading to my favourite boss, the corrupted monk. So we'll rest up to regain all of our heals. And we'll head this way, which is the direction we need to travel to get to the head priest's residence, which is just there. And all of the villagers in front of it. Now there's a couple of things you can do to get to the corrupted monk a little easier, but essentially you just have to run up this path here through the pathways. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of characters here trying to get in to see the head priest. So we're just gonna kill our way through these and go and have a chat with him before we go and fight the corrupted monk. Now, to those of you who are watching, the appearance of these villagers should be pretty familiar. These are the same villagers that of ghostly apparitions that Lady Butterfly summoned, down to the way they attack and the weapons they carry. So by killing all of the guys in front of the head priest's house, it gives us access to another eavesdropping point. So we'll listen in before we get into this building. So the head priest is drinking something in there, and he is overjoyed at the thought of it dissolving and liquefying something. But to get into the building, you just crouch under here and you work your way to a Shinobi hidden door. And over in this corner here is the high priest, and as you can see, he's drinking from something.
Oi. Oi, 何をしている?
どうじゃ? おお、よいぞ、溶けてきたぞ。じゃが足りぬ。なみなみ次や次へ。さあさあ、皆の衆。さあさあ、飲め飲め。振る舞い酒ぞ。さあさあ、皆で都人に。ああ、どうか松座にお加えください。
So the head priest is entranced, essentially, to becoming a citizen of the palace, and the palace is a location we'll learn about very soon. But before we do any of that, we want to collect another one of the prayer beads that we have access to, and I'll show you that shortly. We can collect another bunch of items in this area here, and there's something pretty tragic about what's happened to this place. As you can see, the Buddha has been defaced, quite literally in this case, and much like the monks of Senpu, they have foregone their oaths and their beliefs in Buddha, seeking a greater power, which unfortunately they'll never truly achieve. So there's more Divine Confetti here, another indication as to what we're about to face. And there's another item just over here. A red lump, which I collected before in the underground dungeon. So what we'll do first is we'll pick up this prayer bead. So it's as easy as jumping over here and then grappling up to the top level of the temple, of the house, and collecting it here. So now we have 3 of the 4 prayer beads we need for our next prayer necklace. And with all of this said and done, it is now time to go and face my favorite boss. Pick up some more upgrade materials. Right. So we just jump down here. And we'll head up the path. Now, the Corrupted Monk is another apparition-based enemy, and like I said with Orin of the Water before, it is an enemy that you can defeat through tactics that could be seen as a bit cheesy, definitely. It's an enemy that ideally you're meant to use Divine Confetti on, but I'm going to show you that it's pretty easy to do without any of that sort of stuff. So we'll go and do this. My favorite fight, and the reason why I love this particular fight is it's wholly reliant upon your knowledge of the deflect system and reading your enemy's attacks. And I don't know, I love the pacing to it. The music is exceptional as well, so I'll jump straight in. Love when the camera does that. Please stop. Sweet. Yeah, posture damage. Please stop. One of those. Excuse me. Over the distance. Go up. Excuse me. I almost walked into that one. With that. No, you don't. with that. Oof, with that, jeez. Oh boy, with that too. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I love that fight so much. It's just the rhythm of the fight, the timings for every part of the fight. It's a terrific experience just the whole way through. And it's much like the Genichiro fight, which I'm going to experience probably next. Once you get the timings of the fight down, it's just one of the best feelings that you can get in a video game, because it's got that right level of challenge, and it really tests your ability to read every single attack that's coming in and how you can interact with it as well. And there you go, it's proof that you can do it with just basic attacks, no cheesing or anything else like that, just taking the advantages when you can and just dealing posture damage from well-timed blocks. And that fight would have been a lot quicker if I hadn't stuffed up quite a few of my deflects. But I don't know, just every part of that fight is just something that I enjoyed the whole way through. And I really do enjoy it. So I'm probably going to clip that because I love that whole fight. I really do. Alright, so we've just received the memory of the corrupted monk, the battle memory of an extraordinary foe lingering in the mind of the wolf. Commune with the sculptor's idol and confront memories of battle to permanently increase attack power. The corrupted monk watched over the cave entrance deep in Mibu Village. And we've also received another extremely useful skill. And this really plays into just how vertical the game is, because we've just received the Mibu breathing technique, a secret method of breathing known as the Mibu breathing technique. This latent skill allows one to dive underwater as well as breathe underwater indefinitely. Developed by the founder of Mibu Village, those who seek to join the procession must master the Mibu breathing technique. Without it, the divine dragon cannot be met. And the doorway at the back here opens up, which grants us access to the wedding chamber. So we'll save here, and we'll use this attack memory. As you can see, we did that fight on attack power 3, so we've only used 2 memories. So it's it's an extremely satisfying fight. I'm not sure how much more I can describe it. So we'll enhance our attack power. We'll confront the memory of the corrupted monk. Remnant corrupted monk. The battle memory of an extraordinary foe. Although distant, recollection of such a memory provided sustenance for the wolf. The corrupted monk donned the mask of a fierce guardian deity. Her form was nebulous, appearing as if in a dream. What reason could there have been for guarding the Mibu Village cave entrance? So now we've got attack power 4, we've got almost 20 levels of skill experience that we could spend on an assortment of skills that we have access to. And unfortunately, well, we've only got 500 sen, so we're still a good 2,900 sen away from getting all of the upgrades that we want. So what we'll do now though is we'll head back to Senpo Temple. We will give the white pinwheel, the white flower that we found, to Taro. I think his name's Taro of the troop, and he'll request us to do something that we don't quite have access to do just yet. And then after that, we are heading to Lord Genichiro. So let's travel there now and do this. Oof, I'm still running a bit of a high from beating that boss. Of course, it wasn't a flawless no-hit one, but I may do a video of just doing that at some point in the future as well. So we'll head back and we'll work our way to giving Kotaro the white pinwheel.
皆に置いていかれてしもうた。真っ白いお花を探さなきゃ。どこにあるんじゃろう。
So we'll give him the white pinwheel.
真っ白いお花とこれか。
ああ、それは。おお、思い出したぞ。皆は越智の巫女様たち。そうか、オラは真っ白い風車を取ろうとしたのか。あの子の分の風車を。なあ、あんた一つ頼みがあるんだ。
なんだ。
オラを神隠ししちゃくれないかい。
なんだと。
オラ実は知ってるんだ。あんたは忍なんだろう。坊様たちが言っていた忍は神隠しができるって。
何故それを望む。
神隠しした先にきっと皆がいる。皆のもとに行かねばなんねえ。何せオラは巫女様たちのお世話係だからな。なあ、お願いできねえかな。
So we can't actually help Kotaro just yet, but we will gain a tool later on to be able to do that. And I want to thank you, Zach, for the kind words. The corrupted monk fight, I literally trained with that fight to perfect it without using any tools or reusable items or anything like that. I wanted to learn everything that there was about that fight, because every part of it is just it's an amazing fight. It really is, and it's up there with the Allfather fight, which I'm going to be doing later, and the Sword Saint Ishin. But thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, it was extremely satisfying. I'm not going to deny I really enjoyed that fight. It's just a shame I didn't manage to do it hitless. But again, thank you for the kind words. All right, so
そうか。もし気が変わったら頼むな。
Alright, so we've given Kotaro the white pinwheel, which has reawoken his memories. It's going to... he's given us a bit of information about the Child of the Rejuvenating Waters. And once we get this item that he's asking for, we'll be able to help him ascend to where he wants to go. So right now we are going to go fight Genichiro, I guess. We've got one mini-boss fight before him, and I think we should be able to knock it out before my stream ends at 8 o'clock. So we will Homeward Idle back. We'll use the gourd seeds that I'm pretty sure I'm carrying around and haven't used yet, and then we'll work our way up Ashina Castle. So we'll have a chat with Emma, we'll use our upgrades.
狼殿よ
Yep, I was carrying around 2 of them. That's kind of awesome. Right. So we'll heal up, and then we'll go fight the Ashina Samurai in the dojo. And then it's Lord Genichiro. Damn, that fight was good. Oof. I was stoked. Alright, so we're back to Ashina Castle. We are not too far from Genichiro, and this next fight is kind of interesting. The enemy is going to be using a technique called the Ashina Cross, and it's got one visual cue to make sure your timings for each of your deflects is perfect. If you stuff it up, he can kill you extremely quickly. If you time it well, you'll see. Yeah, not do that. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, that was, oh, come on. Wow. Holy crap. And that's what happens when you don't time your deflects properly. Viewers, don't do what I just did there. That was pretty bad. It's pretty funny, but it was pretty bad. Holy shit. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's would not recommend. Alright, let's try that again. Nope. Oh, there we go. Frames, please. Come on. This week. Oh, come on. Oh god, I'm gonna again, aren't I? Holy shit. Nope. That would have been embarrassing if that had happened again. Well, that's probably my most embarrassing death of the run so far. But it does give us access to another prayer bead, and Genichiro is next. So hopefully I won't totally derp it up like I just did in this fight. So, come on, frames. Frames? Alright. So we will rest here, and then we'll go fight Genichiro, which should finish the first act of the game. So rest up, we'll gain our posture and vitality increase through another prayer bead necklace. The 5th prayer necklace. The gun fort of Sunken Valley is commanded by the Snake Eyes, an elite force of women able to pierce distant targets with mighty flint cannons and phenomenal vision. Now, we haven't quite gotten to the Sunken Valley yet, but it's an indication of what's to come. Now, the Snake Eyes are the descendants of the ancient Okami referenced in by the Sabumaru. So, what we'll do now is we will head up to fight Genichiro. It is sort of broken in some ways that you can actually work your way through Mibu Village before you reach him, which gives you access to another attack power boost. Normally when you get to this point you have either 1 or 2 from Lady Butterfly. Well, you definitely get one from Gyobu, and the second one that you may have by this point is Lady Butterfly. So we'll pick up the eel liver that's over here. So you collect an eel liver before you fight Genichiro, and the reason for it becomes pretty obvious when you realize that, much like every FromSoft game, they like to give you the tools to deal with certain enemies just before you get to them. I'm not going to say any more on that because it is a pretty interesting sort of boss fight. And as you can see here, we have a banner that has a warrior fighting a woman in some thunderclouds. The hanging scroll of an old battle. Ghosts once lurked the lands of Ashina. The ghost lightning was of the Fountainhead gods, unstoppable by normal means. Avoid ground, reverse the lightning. So this is another reference to the Fountainhead and the gods that dwell there. The ghosts have lightning, and as you've seen through the description of the eel liver, the lightning is a tool of the gods. And this is telling you that when dealing with those who wield such forces, to avoid the ground and reverse the lightning. So now we get prompted about lightning reversal. If one is standing on the ground, lightning surges through them, making movement impossible. So much like real life, if you get struck by lightning, you get and you're grounded, the lightning has to pass through you completely. That's ultimately how most people die from the lightning, obviously. And however, if you're in the air, lightning can be dispelled from the body and sent at an enemy instead. So basically that means that as long as you're not, grounded, you have the ability to reflect it. So basically you deflect when you're hit by lightning in the air, and then you have to attack before landing in the same jump to reverse the lightning. So now, let's unequip the tools that we don't need. We'll pick up a few extra items here. Scrap magnetite. And some more pellets. And now, the story will move forward again. Now, I will point this out before I get to the next point. The thing you just heard then was Kuro using the reed whistle, which he used at the start of the... Where's my lighting acting up? Oh, wrong way. I think it's just all of the ambient light in the area that I'm in. But basically he's using the reed whistle to summon us. But I'm going to point something out before I enter this fight. Throughout this section of the game, it's still morning, essentially. The sun has only just risen, and our journey up the castle has taken place during that time period. But as you can see, once we've reached the top, cloud cover has begun to form. And then after we defeat Genichiro, time actually moves forward a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll grapple up here, and we'll watch a cutscene.
Oji-samaのご様子はどうだ?
一心様は命を保っておられるのが不思議なほどです。
そうか。巫女よ、もう一度言う。不死のちぎりを俺と結べ。
できませぬ、源一郎殿。たとえひとたび敗れるとも、 命を賭し主を必ず取り戻す。それが我が忍びなれば。
お迎えに参上いたしました。今しばらくお待ちくだされ。
なるほどな。貴様を殺しきらぬ限り流飲を我が手にはできぬよ。
参る。
死ねる。再び万人を。
Start. Come on, buddy. Just let every deflection go. Second phase done. Now we've got our third phase.
見事だ。巫女の
Had a
忍
bit
び
of a
は
recovery there in the second phase.
惜しいな。主を変えるつもりはないか。
ざれ言。
ざれ言だと。このアシナを守るためならば、どのような異端の力であれ、従えてみせる。巴の神なり見せてやろう。
Yeah. So we've just received the memory of Genichiro. Commune with the sculptor's idol to confront the memories of battle to permanently increase attack power. As the code dictates, the wolf swore vengeance on Genichiro Ashina. So I was half expecting that to last a bit longer. My first phase, I sort of missed a bunch of deflects, which made the fight last a bit longer. And yeah, I gave him a few free hits, which, you know, I should have known better with. So I do kind of know that fight pretty well. Second phase went off without a hitch, and that third phase was nice and easy. Now, it makes a big thing about all of the lightning attacks, but the reality is it's kind of free hits, provided you don't miss your lightning reversals, because it basically paralyzes them, deals a whole bunch of health damage, vitality damage, and then stuns them for a few seconds, which gives you a couple of extra hits, which means that any posture damage that they've received, they just can't recover in time. What I like about this fight, though, is, you know, the first time you fight Genichiro, you're freshly started the game. It's the first major boss that you face, and, you know, you don't know his attacks. And then by the time you reach this point in the game, it's the second fight you have with him. And you get to learn all of those little things in the fight that you really get to use, and a lot of people struggle with him initially. I mean, I certainly did when I first played through the game, but this is the fight where I learnt how much I love the game. Like, it teaches you, by this point, if you've managed to brute force it, it teaches you that deflecting is important. It teaches you to use your counterattacks. It teaches you to you know, basically learn those the very, very basic parts of the game, and I love it for it. I really, really do. It's not quite my favorite, like the Corrupted Monk, but there's a lot to love about it. It really, really is. And I mean, the game's been out for 4 years, so it's not really spoiler territory, but the third time you fight him, I don't know, it's a nice way of bringing the story around to a looping sort of conclusion, which is really, really interesting, and it remains in character the whole way through. But at this point, we have worked our way through Mibu Village in advance. We have finalized the first part of the Ashina Castle. We've defeated Genichiro and saved Lord Kuro, and now we're going to get told to go on a bit of a quest to basically resolve his curse, the dragon's heritage, and we're going to fight another couple of big bosses. And I think in our next stream I'm going to explore the water breathing skill that we gained. There's a couple of really, really useful items that we're going to be able to collect. That way, we're going to probably, next Monday, start working our way through all of the apparition-based bosses. So we're going to be fighting the Headless. We're going to be fighting the Shichiman Warrior. There's a couple of little tricks you can use with the Shichiman Warrior especially. And then I think we're also going to probably work our way through the Sunken Valley as well. But might have to break that stream up again. But at this point in time, we've just finished the first act of the game. The second act is about to begin, and the conclusion of the second act will actually bring us back to Ashina Castle top and the next part of the game. So I'll confront this memory, and I think we'll call it there. We've also just acquired our first ninjutsu skill, the Bloodsmoke Ninjutsu. Ninjutsu technique that turns spraying blood of a victim to smoke. The smoke screen allows one to retake the element of surprise. Life or death struggle defines a shinobi, for whom a kill is the source of strength. Now, very much the way that I've been playing through this particular playthrough. I'm going to resist using a bunch of skills and ninjutsus, except for the ones that we really need, because I've found with this game in particular, I've always enjoyed the skill of using just basic attacks and deflects to defeat opponents, and there's something really satisfying about doing that for me. So on that, we will watch the next cutscene and confront this memory, and that'll be it for the stream. And it's just going to tell us a little bit about ninjutsu techniques. Powerful abilities that can only be used after performing a backstab death blow. They must be equipped in the equipment menu and cost spirit emblems to perform. Basically, you backstab death blow and then you can trigger the effect using the attack button again. So we'll just...
あなたが勝ったのですね。
お主。
争うつもりはありません。巫女の忍びよ。源一郎殿、もしや落ち水を。
アシナはこの国は俺のすべてだ。そのためなら俺は人間をやめよう。
死人帰りか。
Alright, thank you for the kind comments. Yeah, the Genichiro fight was pretty slick. It was over a little bit quicker than I expected it was going to be. Oh, so we'll confront this memory, and I think we'll probably call the stream on that. So we'll just enhance the attack power. Remnant, Genichiro. Born a peasant, Genichiro Ashina was taken in by the Ashina after his mother's death. With his country on the brink of defeat, Genichiro took to heretical arts and mastered the lightning of Tomoe. Such heresy may be the key to saving her. And with that, we gain an increase in our attack power. And we will call the stream there. I want to thank everybody who has watched this stream. Thank you for the kind words as well. You got to see me fight a couple of bosses finally in this stream. I realized that my last stream we didn't actually contend with any bosses. It was more of an exploration sort of thing, a bit of a sequence break. This time, yeah, one of my favorite bosses. And next stream we should be, like I said, working our way through either the Sunken Valley and heading towards the Guardian Ape, or... No, the Guardian Ape will be next. And that's a pretty interesting fight as well. There are a couple of easy speedrunning sort of ways of dealing with it too. So on that, again, thank you everybody for watching, and thank you for all the kind words, and we will continue our adventure through this playthrough next Monday. Thanks guys.